Hello. Welcome back to Tour of the Palate, where we will be making food from jolly well, England this evening. Let's see. So, I was trying to decide what to make. I decided that fish and chips is a staple and it also sounds good. So, I'm going to make fish and chips. I'm also going to bake everything, so I know that's not like true to how you would normally fry it in oil. But hey, mix things up a little bit. It's still fish and chips. Uh, so hopefully people don't roast me, pun intended, too much for not following exactly to the T. So I got cod because I thought you can also do, you can do cod. You can do like pretty much any white fish. Hake is also good. But cod is just easy to find where I live. So, not easy, but easier to find. So, got some cod. And I have kind of a dredging station. So, what I'm going to do first, actually, before I get into any of the process of how all of it's going to work, hope everybody's having a wonderful week. I want to give a special shout out to Chuck. Happy birthday. It is a belated birthday because it was actually yesterday, but happy birthday, Chuck. Hope it was wonderful and all your dreams and wishes came true. Okay, so we've got some ingredients, and I'll go ahead and explain kind of what I did in prep. So let me go ahead and get something out of the fridge real fast. I made some horseradish tartar sauce, and I'm really excited to have it with, it's got a whole bunch of really good stuff in it. So I'll just set that over there because we're going to be eating that soon. Also, my automatic trash can open thing, the mechanism, I don't know if it's a spring or something, but it broke. And I tried to fix it and it will not work. So now I need to figure out what I'm going to do with that. Anyway, slight digression. I will show you the ingredients. So in that sauce, some mayo. Since I already combined it, I can't really, well, I could go get the ingredients and show you, but I will not do that. Mayo, some chopped capers, prepared horseradish. When I was younger, I didn't really like horseradish. I thought it was like way too like tangy, spicy in a bad way. But as I've gotten older, I really like horseradish. Not to make your breath smell that good though. So pop a piece of gum in after you have some of that. Let's see. So we've got the horseradish, the chopped dill. I was able to find fresh dill, which was really good, that I got from the store. Some lemon juice, lemon zest, salt, and pepper. It is good. It is very good. The sauce is good. I did not make this recipe up, so take no credit. I just assembled ingredients. So the first thing that we're gonna do, I sliced up all of the fries, well, the potatoes, and we're gonna toss them in oil, and then we're gonna put them on a pan that's actually heating up in the oven right now. And then we'll cook those for like 15 minutes, flipping about halfway through. I'll show you my station that I have set up. So we're gonna make the panko mix first. So that'll be the first thing that we do. The panko mix is just the panko breadcrumbs, the garlic, the thyme, and some pepper. And what we do is just cook that in oil, and we're gonna brown the breadcrumbs. I can't talk right now. And then once that's done, we're gonna pull it off really quickly, and that will be kind of the last little like coating that goes on. So the first thing is you dredge with flour. This mixture that I showed you that had the whisk in there is a mixture of Dijon mustard and eggs, and that's kind of like the binding agent that like keeps everything together. That's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward. This sheet pan that I have is what the cod is going to go on when I put it in the oven, so that will be good. And then, like I said, I'm heating the oven right now to heat up that pan. So I'm going to cook the breadcrumbs and the garlic and the pepper and the thyme. Too much time on my hands. I have more jokes, bad jokes, if you want to hear them. All right. So, I'm going to heat up this oil just on medium heat. How's everybody's week going? It has been... So, my son, Henry, has started preschool, which, like, blows my mind. I want to show you something. I'll be right back. This is probably, like, my favorite thing that I own. It's sentimental and sappy. And maybe I'll cry talking about this. These are the first shoes that he ever walked in, and they are beat up. But they just sit on this shelf right next to my desk. And I don't know, I think about like how quickly time goes by, and this is a physical representation. Like, I mean, his shoe is smaller, like as small as my hand, smaller than my hand. Anyway, okay. Okay, yeah, so we will do all the stuff and the things, and I will put in the panko after it's done cooking right there. So we'll go ahead and do that. The breadcrumbs, just make sure that this pan's a little toasty first, and then I will use a spoon and get all this stuff out. Stir it all together. Seems kind of fun. So yeah, anyway, I guess all that to say, this is the first week of school for that. And yeah, anybody else have kids in school? I hope their semester, their year goes really well. If you have multiple kids, I hope all of their years go really well, and that they are in the classes with all their friends that they want. And yeah, guess I don't really have a whole lot else on that front. Just keep on trucking, everybody. It's a weird time to be around and be alive, but it's a beautiful time. And gotta take all the sweet, wonderful moments that we can get and really relish them. Okay, so potatoes. I didn't say this before. They're russet potatoes. I mean, they're pretty big, so I figured people would be able to know. Let's see. This is getting hot enough. I could probably put the breadcrumbs in. And after I make the breadcrumbs and I kind of toss everything in there, I will go ahead and put the potatoes, the chips. Now it's like a very interesting thing because I've always wanted to go to London. It's like, it's definitely a bucket list item for me to go there. And one other thing that I didn't really care too much for until I was older is malt vinegar. So like you put vinegar on stuff, and then fries, like mix it with ketchup. Super good. So ketchup is delicious. But I like to dip my fries in mayo, which is also funny because I didn't used to like mayo. So there you go. Have good times. But all this stuff is good. I feel like my life is just so much better for having opened my mind to different food, different kinds of food. I'm going to go ahead and just start adding this stuff in here. This oil's getting pretty hot. And time after time, some garlic. Gosh, garlic is so good. It said to put just a little bit of garlic, but you know, I put a lot of garlic in here. Well, more than it said to. Okay, there we go. in, as Gordon Ramsay would say. Do you all have any favorite chefs? I really, really like Great British Baking Show, and it's just like a zen experience overall. I'm just gonna kind of brown this up. Take about 5 minutes or so. It smells really good. I guess I say that every time I cook. So fun fact, I actually got sinus surgery a couple of years ago, I guess now. Not this last year, but the year before that. Or was it last year? I think it was last year. Maybe it was last year. Anyway, I had not been able to breathe out of my nose exclusively or smell anything that wasn't like a really, really pungent scent for like 10 years. So now that I had that surgery, I am just like, my mind and world is expanded because when I breathe in, they did this thing where they like open up my sinus area, and they even opened up like the inside parts and shrunk these turbinate things. So the tissue is smaller, and also some of my bone is gone. So I can just like, it's like so good. So when I can smell like what I'm cooking, yeah, it's pretty neat. Anyway, don't really know why I felt the need to tell everybody that. Some of you that are potentially watching this already knew that, as far as like me having that surgery. Okay, this looks like it's getting a little toasty. About a couple more minutes. Little bit of oil. I'll go ahead and toss while that's doing its thing. We need to do... I like this olive oil. If you're ever looking for a good cooking olive oil, it's a little bit expensive, but I mean, this jar thing of it is... They actually like smoke or make the jar or the container itself opaque because light spoils olive oil or doesn't make it taste as good. So it's kind of nice that they add that in there. They also have, this is the cooking version, but they also have a salad dressing version, which is kind of neat. Okay, so I'm just gonna eyeball this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then once that heats up to 500 degrees, I'm going to take that out and I will put these on there. Okay, a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Pepper, stir these breadcrumbs. They're starting to get a little bit toasty. I can show you what it looks like. It smells good because there's thyme that I minced and put in there. Breadcrumbs. Panko breadcrumbs are so good because they're kind of like a layer of cornstarch. Just like really, really crisps up pretty much anything you're making. So if you ever want to use it. And they now sell them in resealable bags. Put some salt and pepper, some S&P 500. So fun fact, if you're ever in a restaurant and you wonder why the salt is on the right side and the pepper is on the left side, that is actually due to ADA compliance, or maybe not necessarily compliance, but suggestions. Because blind people or visually impaired people are told that white is on the right, so salt is on the right side. And think of how much of a surprise it would be if you couldn't see or see well enough to know, and you put a bunch of pepper when you thought you were putting a bunch of salt. So, as a courtesy to people that cannot see, anytime you're at a restaurant, use salt or pepper. Salt is on the right hand side, pepper is on the left hand. There you go. It's your good citizen deed of the time. Okay, I'm going to toss these fries, chips, I mean, with a glove, just so I don't get oil all over my hands. And since I'm baking these, I cut them a little tiny bit thicker than it's suggested to, because I don't know, if you don't bake it, if they're too thin, then they'll just kind of shrivel up. It's not as big of a deal when you're frying them, but when you bake them. And I kind of like thicker fries anyway. I think I've always kind of like steak, like either really, really thin like shoestring fries or steak fries. Okay. This is getting all crispy-fied. See some brown color in there. So I need to be a little bit more attentive to this. Okay. Until it gets a little bit more of a brown. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Bring you over so you can see. See? It's getting, you see a little brown color in there. I don't know why I'm like staring at the camera while I'm showing. Here's an up-close version of my face. You can see all the imperfections on my skin. Hope everybody enjoyed that. And then, like I said, what I'm going to do with this after it's done is I'm just going to throw this in the bowl, and it'll be the last little bit of tastiness on the... Toast it up. And if you toast the breadcrumbs, then it also just makes it even a little bit more crunchy. So just a little oil, and you can kind of experiment with whatever you want to try. Garlic is always a good idea. For fish, this combo works well: garlic, thyme, and a little bit of salt and pepper. Or no, just pepper, not salt. There's already plenty of salt and everything else. Okay, this is browning. Here we go. Looks good. Okay. So I'm going to, the oven is almost totally preheated. And once the oven is preheated, then I'm going to take that preheated baking sheet that I put in the bottom, and I will put these fries on there, and they'll start cooking. And then I'll come back in a little bit and I'll show you what they look like when they're done. And then bake the fish. The fish takes about 25 minutes. So maybe after I put the fish in, I'll do some information about England and dining customs and things like that. And then of course the grand big reveal once it's all done. There you go. I know it's a dangerous thing to cook in a white shirt because I'm just going to get stuff all over it. But it's what I'm wearing, so. Okay, I'm going to show you one more time before I pull this stuff out. Maybe what you should be looking for when you're looking for browning the breadcrumbs. Something like that. It's like getting to be like all kind of toasted. And then I will take this off here in just a second. And then put that in here. I always spill stuff all over the place, so I try to be as cognizant of that as I can. Okay. It's fun. I like toasting things. Toasted almonds, toasted everything. Whoops. Looks like it went a little bit. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna put these on the sheet. Return to the oven's lower rack. So pull this rack out. One of the reasons why you put this in first is so that you have a sizzle. Sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. What is it? I was aboard my train of thought when I suddenly realized it was off track. Man, this is going to be way too much food for me. That's alright. I'm just going to pour that on there. Okay. So there we go. And now, we'll put this back in the oven. On the low rack. I think I'm going to do it for like 15 minutes. And yeah, roast until slightly golden and crispy. So for 15 minutes, and then yeah. Reduce the heat. So this heat's going to go from 500 down to 425. And then we're going to do the fish. So I'll bring this over. And I will start another video here in just a minute with that process too. Okay, see you in a minute.